CTV News at 6 with Joe Perkins.
The Coastal Fire Center is on high alert. There is lightning in the forecast for much of Vancouver Island, and with little to no rain in weeks, for many areas it could spell disaster. That is the sound of tinder dry conditions, and it can be heard up and down the island. The Coastal Fire Center says no new fires started overnight, but crews have been busy this week fighting brush and grass fires, including this one on the grounds of Royal Roads University on Thursday. There are currently no fire bans on Vancouver Island, and firefighters are asking you to be vigilant. Military police at CFB Comox are still looking for two men who approached a girl on the base. It happened yesterday afternoon when police say the men pulled up to the girl who lives on the base in a blue Astrovan and started harassing her.
A mother of one of our children living in the residential area of CFB Comox called to report that her daughter had been approached by two men on the way home from the Glacier Gardens Rec Center. The two men approached her in a blue van and asked her if she had ever been kidnapped before. A little girl drove off on her bicycle and to get away from the two gentlemen and reported it to her mother, and they reported it to the military police.
The two men are described as Caucasian. The girl says the passenger has short blonde hair, a mustache, a star tattoo on his neck, and spoke with a British accent. The driver is described as partially bald, clean-shaven, and about 50 years old. Police say the blue van left the area when the girl took off. Comox Valley RCMP was notified. 3 men are in police custody after a home invasion in Nanaimo early this morning. Nanaimo RCMP say one of the men punched a 30-year-old Vancouver woman in the face when he entered the suite. As the suspects were trying to get away, the building's caretaker, a 60-year-old man, intervened and he was kicked in the face. It happened in the 4700 block of Uplands Drive in Nanaimo. Police say one of the men forced his way in through a window. Someone called 911 and police dogs tracked one of the men down. He was arrested. Witnesses helped identify the other 2 suspects who were also arrested. All of the men are in their 20s, 2 from Nanaimo and the other from Vancouver. Nanaimo RCMP is investigating and say the motive for the attacks is unknown. An update now on a story CTV first brought you last night. Disturbing and threatening Facebook comments directed at a new mosque being built in the capital city have been taken off the I Love Downtown Victoria page after our story aired. The comments made by a man who identified himself as Dan Speed say someone should blow up the place of worship. Speed's Facebook profile has also disappeared, but did indicate the man has a military background and now works in security. CTV News has learned he is a commissionaire at the Canadian Coast Guard base. The Muslim community calls the man's comments scary. Victoria Police are investigating. West Shore RCMP and firefighters are investigating to see if 2 suspicious vehicle fires that broke out overnight are related. Just after 4 this morning, someone called 911 after seeing a vehicle on fire in the Canadian Tire parking lot on Langford Parkway. Firefighters quickly doused the flames, but the damage was done, estimated at $50,000. And 45 minutes later, a report of another fire came in. This time, it was a utility trailer in the 3000 block of Chantel Place in Colwood.
Due to the elapsed time between the 2 fires, we will treat the 2 fires as suspicious. It's too early right now in our investigation to reveal if the 2 fires were linked.
Anyone with information on the fires is asked to contact West Shore RCMP at 250-474-2264 or call Crime Stoppers. And West Shore RCMP are warning the public to be vigilant after 2 cougar sightings overnight. The first was near the Galloping Goose at 6 Mile Road. Police responded, but the big cat was nowhere to be seen. Then, just after midnight, a man called police saying he hit a cougar with his car on Helmcken Road near the Trans-Canada Highway. The animal kept going and was last seen heading towards the Fort Victoria RV Park. If you see a cougar, call police or BC Conservation Service. They are pieces of art meant for everyone to enjoy. As we showed you last weekend, world-renowned sand sculptors took to the beach at Gyro Park to create some incredible forms. But some of the sculptures that took hours to create were destroyed in minutes. This is all that remains of the sculptures, part of the Saanich Sun Fest. Organizers were hoping the sand art would stay standing at the park for a few weeks if Mother Nature cooperated. Beachgoers we spoke to today couldn't believe someone would ruin the creations.
Yeah, I think somebody had some bad manners and deserves a consequence for that. And it's kind of sad because somebody put a lot of effort into this and then somebody else comes along and just destroys it. So it's too bad she couldn't see them when they were looking really nice.
Very sad, you know, that they don't have any respect for anything. I can see that. And, you know, people who come from other countries and like to see this, they don't have the opportunity to see what beautiful things Canadians can do.
More than 50 tons of sand was used for the sculptures. The Inner Harbour is buzzing this weekend. In addition to the usual traffic, hundreds of paddlers are out for the 18th annual Victoria Dragon Boat Festival. The racers were giving it their all as they paddled their way through the Inner Harbour. Hundreds of people came out today to take in the action. Boats have to contend with a lot of traffic in the harbour, including planes and ferries, but organizers say that is part of the festival's appeal.
Really, this is one of the allures about the Victoria Dragon Boat Festival, is that it is really, I think it's one of the only festivals that operates out of a working harbour. So we do have the seaplanes, we've got the coho, we've got all the ferries and stuff like that. I think it's part of the fun for the competitors to actually be in this environment.
Festival organizers say they have no plans on changing the location of the popular event and will stay as long as the city will allow it. The races continue tomorrow, followed by an award ceremony. And hundreds of people were at Centennial Square today celebrating Indian culture. The two-day event features a number of performances, including classical and modern Bollywood dances and music. There is also all the mouth-watering Indian food you can get your hands on, and merchants offering traditional Indian goods. Event organizers say the event is an opportunity to raise awareness about the culture.
We've been doing this for now 3 years. The idea was, as the community grows, we should create more awareness into the mainstream community, as well as the children who've been born and raised here, so they know their heritage and the art and culture and the depth of India's diversity.
The festival continues tomorrow from 11 to 4 in Centennial Square.